Hello all, welcome to CS CAD Technologies. In this video, we'll be seeing how to make this component. If you want to learn more about sheet metal tutorials or any other tutorials, surfacing tutorials for example, you can subscribe to our channel. We have new videos coming up every day. Now, coming back to this component, there are three different views, the front view, the right view as well as the top view. But this view is actually called an auxiliary view for this plate, as you can see. The details of those are given in this auxiliary view. The name of the auxiliary view is A. Now, let's begin making this component using CREO as the CAD tool. As usual, create a new part, select the units and say OK. Now, I'll start from making the base, which is of 550, 40 and overall length is 300. Now, I'd like to add this symmetrically because I have ribs in the center as well as this rib in the center. So, I'll do it symmetrically to 300. Now, let's continue and make this feature. This is at a height of 400. So, in the same front view, I'd like to do that by taking a rectangle. First, let me take a center line so I can maintain symmetry. And the thickness is 40. Now, we know that this is towards the front side as well as towards the back side. I have made the sketch exactly at the center. Now, while creating the extrude, we can do it in two different directions, which is side 1 and side 2, which we have seen in a lot of videos. But there are few queries regarding this. Side 1 is this direction, side 2 is the other direction. I can show you with blind as well. If you want to flip them, you can simply click on the arrow, it does it otherwise, or you can again click it back. There are the same end conditions if you want to give. The side 1 I am giving it till here, but the side 2 is again at blind. I do not want this, I want it till this face. So you can give it on both the sides using the extrude if you had by mistake taken the sketch at the center. Now, there are ribs as well, which is of this shape and 150 TYP. So I'd like to use the simple rib command because it's easy to make it that way. Start from here and then scroll down till here. Now, CREO 4.0 usually takes the references automatically. If you have a lower version, you can use right click, select references and select as I am doing it right now. The distance from here to here is 150. Okay. Now, let me check the thickness of the rib, which is actually 40. Again, I'll make this 40. Same thing is mirror onto the other side, so I'll use the mirror command. Now, there is an angle of 30 where this plate is starting from. So I can use the draft command to create that angle on this face with respect to this as my draft hinge, which is the front face. Now the angle is 30. As you can see, it adds material that way. We want 30, we'll give 30 and say okay, this will be your 30. On this face, we can make the plate, or you can take a new plane and also do it. I'd like to do it from this face itself. Now I have this rectangle which is 300 by the ends are meeting with the body. So the ends are supposed to meet with the body, which is this as well as that. And let me take a center line. Let's begin making the rectangle. We know this is 300, which they have already mentioned in the auxiliary view. The addition of this is up to 30. Again, this is not mentioned in the auxiliary view, it's mentioned in the right view over here. This is your angled component. Now, there are few addition for circles, which is 100, and there are 4 of them at a distance of 200 on this face. So let me try to make that. Now I am giving a symmetrical dimension, which is point, center line and point. Let me check the distance from that. This is 220. I'd like to give 220 over here. The addition of material is till 60. I'll just change this to 60 and say okay. I can mirror this onto the other side, and I can select both of them and mirror it onto the back side, because there are 4. In the notation they have mentioned 4. So there are 4. Now let's get into drilling the holes. Again, as usual, as you can see, there's 60. I'd like to give 60 on this face, and then give it up to next. Same way I can mirror the same on the other side. Now there is a small slot cut in the front view, as you can see, which is 350 by 4. I'll do that. You can do that before the hole or after the hole, it's okay. It's preferable to do it before drilling the holes. Please do not skip the video. I'll be giving few explanations about few commands which we use, so it might be helpful for you. Now let's start drilling the holes. We know the distances, etc. So let me start with this face because it's a little easier for me, and then take center lines as usual. Because they're at a symmetrical distance, I'm using a center line, and then keep mirroring it. Now we know the distances, which is 450 and 200. Let's try to maintain that. Now, since we already know point pattern, we can use point pattern. The diameter of this hole is 40 through. So I'm just taking one, giving it 40, and then use pattern. Point pattern creates a pattern wherever there is a 3D point or a datum point, as you can see. Now the same is on this face as well. So let me try to do it on this face as well. I'll use this edge and create a midpoint. That's a little more easier for me. I need to draw a line. Construction. Let me change this to construction. Now I'd like to place a midpoint constraint. As you can see, it created a midpoint. Now I'll use that as my center, and I know this anyway. So again, I'd like to give 4 datum points. I have used a normal point here, so it does not reflect me externally, and it does not affect my point pattern. I know the distance, which is 246.41 and 200. These are my 4 features. Now again, let me check the diameter. It's given 30. Let me take 30 and say through, and then create a pattern. This is the model. Now as finishing operations, let us try to give the rounds. Rounds are R50 throughout. So let me try to take rounds and then try to give R50 throughout. This is your final model. If you want to learn more, you can always subscribe, or you can contact us regarding any type of advanced trainings or general trainings you require. We do also provide job placements in various softwares. The description and the details will be given below. Thank you.